Hello, 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 Cancer Rising. This is your Vedic Astrology and Tarot reading for the week of June 12th until June 18th. I'm sorry, I got the hiccups. Okay, so let me tell you what's going to be going on. So for this reading, I'm going to be there's a hiccup right there. Looking at your Vedic astrology chart in general. This is for people that have their Cancer in the zodiac sign Cancer in their first house. Oh my gosh, these hiccups are so strong today. And people who have the zodiac sign Cancer in their first house, and also it could also help people who have their moon in Cancer. And if you have your moon in Cancer, then I relate to you because my moon is in Cancer. So we might be going through some similar experiences this week. Okay, so we're going to start off with my Akashic Records tarot deck. Then we'll go to Keepers in the Light. Then my Akashic my Akashic tarot deck. I mean oh my gosh, I got it all turned around. I'm starting with my Akashic tarot deck. Then I'm doing the Keepers of the Light. Then I'm doing my Goddess card, my Goddess Oracle cards. So we can get as deep as possible with what's going on with you this week. So we're going to ask the questions of what is the theme for this week? What does the last quarter moon mean for you? What does the new moon mean for you? Because that's happening this week. And also, what does Saturn turning retrograde in Aquarius means for you? That's happening on the 17th this week. We'll also be asking questions of what is your overall advice, okay? So we're starting off with the theme. Okay. Okay, so for June 12th until June 18th, what is the theme for Cancer rising, Cancer lagna, Cancer in the first house? I need some more water. Okay. What does the last quarter mean? What does the last quarter moon mean for Cancer rising, Cancer lagna, Cancer in the first house? What does the new moon mean for Cancer rising, Cancer lagna, Cancer in the first house? What does Saturn going retrograde on June 17th mean for Cancer rising, Cancer lagna, Cancer in the first house? And also, what is the advice for Cancer for this week for Cancer rising, Cancer lagna, Cancer in the first house? As I said before, this could also be relevant to you if you have your moon in Cancer. Okay, so we have birth, and this is representing this is so embarrassing. This is representing the theme for the week, which I feel has a lot to do with Venus being in Cancer. Okay, because this card represents Venus. This represents creativity. Oh my gosh. It represents creativity. It represents birth. It represents what else can it represent? The divine feminine energy, which is very strong. Oh my gosh. Which is very strong in your first house because you have Venus in your first house. So that's double feminine energy, more than what it might usually be for you, because Venus is the princess. Venus is the divine feminine, but also you have Cancer in your first house, which is the queen, which is the divine mother. So you have so much feminine energy in your first house right now. So also looking at your last quarter moon, when we start this week off, it's starting in the last quarter moon phase. Oh my gosh. So in the last quarter moon phase, we are looking at what we need to let go and what we need to release to reach our goals. And here we have Archangel Michael. Okay. Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael is a protector. And let's look at what's going on in your 8th house. So definitely the last quarter moon has started already in your 8th house. The 8th house is represented by Mars. Mars is connected to Archangel Michael because they have so many similarities. So Mars is a warrior. The Archangel Michael is a warrior, is a protector. So is Mars. Okay, and Mars is a co-ruler of the 8th house, where the last quarter moon is starting for you. And also in the sky right now, Mars has this 8th aspect on your 8th house. And the 8th aspect of Mars is all about transformation. So when we think about transformation, we're thinking about, okay, what do we need to let go of so we can start our new beginning? That's what transformation is all about. Endings and beginnings. This is so much right now. Okay. All right. So that's what we have for that. Okay. So let's move on to the new moon. And the new moon is going to be in your 12th house. Oh, very interesting. This is so embarrassing. Well, I'm going to keep going because I know you need to hear this message, and I know I need to make these videos. So this is autism. This has a lot to do with us and maybe not being as clear as we need to be when it comes to our spiritual team. Now, when I talk about our spiritual team, I'm talking about our ancestors, our angels, our gods, our goddesses, our spirit guides, our spirit animals, any entity, being, spirit that is here to help us that we might not see. This is because the new moon is happening in your 12th house that represents beings, people, spirits that we cannot see. So that's what the new moon is all about for you. Okay, and now let's look at Saturn going retrograde. Faded. Oh my gosh. I feel like you know them Looney Tunes cartoons where they're like, how dry I am. Like I feel like that right now. Oh my gosh. All these hiccups. But faded meetings. So let's look at where Saturn is. So it's two things that represent fate and karma when it comes to your 8th house. So you have Aquarius in your 8th house. Well, three things. Your 8th house is representing. Saturn represents karma. The planet Saturn represents karma. And Saturn co-rules the zodiac sign Aquarius, which is in your 8th house. Another thing that represents karma and dharma and where we're supposed to go in life is the north node of the moon, Rahu. Okay, and Rahu is the other, we'll say, planet. Oh my gosh, that co-rules the zodiac sign Aquarius, which is in your 8th house. Okay, so another thing that represents karma when it comes to your 8th house, Cancer rising, is K2. Okay, K2, and K2 is the co-ruler of Scorpio. K2 represents karma from past lives, as well as Saturn. Saturn can represent karma from past lives. Oh my gosh. Or karma from the past. So it's a lot of energy around karma in your 8th house, Cancer rising. Along with Saturn just literally being there. Sorry, see my notes. Saturn being in your 8th house, and that represent and Saturn represents karma, like I just said. So the actual planet is there, and it actually does rule Aquarius. So it's so much of karma and fate happening right now in your 8th house. And your 8th house represents transformation. Your 8th house represents inheritance. Your 8th house represents endings and new beginnings. Your 8th house represents your in-laws. Okay, so I'll stop right there. And now let's look at your advice for this week of June 12th until June 18th. And this is the Two of Roses, very watery, like I would assume you would be, Cancer rising. So the Two of Roses can also be seen as the Two of Cups. Okay, so this is winged messengers. So there could be some messages that we need to be looking out for. Okay, let me get some water. Hopefully this will help this hiccup attack that I'm having right now. Okay, so just so we know, I like to think about, this is so embarrassing. I like to think about the spiritual meaning of things. And I've have two of Louise Hay's books, because she likes to talk about the spiritual meaning of things, especially when it comes to our health. And I believe I remember looking up hiccups before, because hiccups is something that I do have issues with. a lot. And so I remember when it comes to hiccups, it means that you're taking on too much of life. You're going too much, you're going too fast. And that would explain a lot of things that I'm going through. Oh my gosh. Right now. So it does have a lot to do with taking on too much. Okay. So let's go ahead and clarify with the Keepers of the Light deck. So, what does Cancer rising need to know about this week? What is the theme, the main theme for Cancer rising this week? The week of June 12th until June 18th. What does Cancer rising need to know about the last quarter moon in their 8th house this week? What does Cancer rising need to know about the new moon in their 12th house this week? What does Cancer rising need to know about Saturn going retrograde in Aquarius this week? And what is Cancer rising's advice for this week? Oh, I'm gonna pick those. Sometimes I pick cards up, sometimes I don't. I feel like I need to this time. Where did I stop off? What is Cancer rising's overall advice for this week? All right. Here we have Green Tara, Supreme Protection. You are protected. Cords are being cut, and limitation. Move beyond limitation and trust. This is going with. Oh, I believe this is because in your first house. Let me look at this to make sure I'm saying the right thing. I think it has something to do with Mars being in your first house and Lilith also being in your first house and being protected, because Mars is a trailblazer, and also Mars represents protection, spiritual protection, and that also goes into the Archangel Michael. Michael is a spiritual protector. Most people call on the Archangel Michael when they need spiritual protection, when they're oh my gosh, when they're dealing with spiritual warfare. So I do believe that we are talking about spiritual protection, because you're going to have, to accept where you might usually reject yourself. Now, I have Cancer in my first house. I was born in 1982. I have Cancer in my first house. If we're talking about my D10 chart. Okay, now this might be a little this might be a little more than people usually like. So I do Vedic astrology, not Western astrology. And in Vedic astrology, we have divisional charts. So in my D10, which the chart that you would look at if you were looking at your career, I do have Cancer in my first house, and that is where I have, Lilith in Cancer. So I'm having a Lilith return right now. And some of you, if you were born around the same time that I did, like which I said is 1982, you may also have Lilith in Cancer. And Lilith represents where we might be or feel rejected just for being who we are, just for the way that we feel emotionally, just for the way that we relate to our mothers, just for the way that we handle our homes, that we manage our homes. We might feel rejected because of that. But this is a time where we can learn from that rejection. If you do have Cancer in your if you do have Lilith in Cancer, we can learn from this in your birth chart. If you have Lilith in Cancer in your birth chart, we can learn from those rejections that we've experienced our whole life. And also when it comes to our emotions, our home, and our mother. Okay. This is a time to accept that. Okay. So yeah, that's what I was going. Oh my gosh. So now let's look at the new moon again. This is clarification about the last quarter moon. The last quarter moon, the Shekinah, sacred self, unleash your spirit, express your gifts, dance to the sacred rhythm of life. Okay, this is the last quarter moon. Let's take a look. Take a look. Okay. So what I want us to understand is this aspect, this 8th aspect of Mars on your 8th house. I want you to understand something about Mars. Mars is focused. Mars is a hard worker. Mars is a trailblazer, but Mars also loves to dance and express himself with percussion type instruments like drums. So I feel like in your 8th house, you might need to express yourself, oh my gosh, all of the frustration and anger and just all the energy, all of the life force that you have. It's time to release, because the last quarter moon is all about what do you need to let go? What do you need to release? It's time with this Archangel Michael representing Mars and this Shekinah representing dance. You need to express yourself, let go and release, Cancer, all those because Cancer can hold on to emotions and not express them because we're afraid of being vulnerable. But you have to let go and release right now, Cancer, okay? Let go and release, okay? That's what the last quarter moon is telling you. You have a lot of Mars energy coming out in your reading, and I do believe that's because you have Mars in your first house. So here we have Joan of Arc for the new moon in your 12th house. So Joan of Arc, voice of truth, stand strong, focus on your purpose, release the fear of persecution, and speak your truth. Okay, so this is the new moon. So we have the ancestors, angels, spirit guides, spirit animals, gods, goddesses that are working with you, your spiritual team that you really cannot see are working with you. And this is Joan of Arc, the voice of truth. So you, my phone is ringing. Okay, my phone was ringing. I apologize. So you want to make sure that you are listening. Let me look at your chart again. You want to make sure that you are, yes. Okay, so the sun loves the truth, okay? And the sun, you're starting off this week with the sun in your 11th house. Then it's going to be moving to your 12th house. And this is where you'll start to connect and communicate more with your spiritual team. And you want to be honest. You want to tell them, be honest and truthful about how you feel, what you're thinking, things like that. So you want to be honest with them. That's your spiritual team. They're not going to judge you. They know you. They've been knowing you. They've been with you. But you also want to be honest about what you hear, Cancer rising, from your spiritual team. Listen to the voices of your spiritual team. And this comes with prayer and meditation. And then when we pray and meditate, we don't want to reject what we hear, because why did we pray and meditate in the first place? Okay, so now let's look at Saturn retrograde. Expect miracles. Now this card really connects me to the moon, and the moon, oh my gosh, it's going to be in your 12th house. But we're talking about Saturn retrograde, which is in your 8th house. So remember that only love is real. Miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. So let's look at this other card that came out. Fated meetings. This is feeling like just go with the flow. Know that things are happening that might be out of your control, but just go ahead and go with the flow. Trust in whoever that you trust in, and go with the flow. Do not resist change, especially because you have all of this energy going in your 8th house. Go with the flow. Do not resist change, because any change that you experience is moving you to your destiny, to your future, to your purpose. Okay. Yeah, so we're definitely talking about Saturn in your 8th house again. With with this. Okay, now we're going to look at the card that clarifies your overall advice. This is definitely talking about the new moon. The Miriam, sacred vision. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all, and remember that love has no boundaries. Okay, so we're talking about your overall advice. This was the 2 of Roses. There could be messages that you're getting that you are not or have not been in the right vibration or energy to receive. But this is saying receive those messages in your 12th house. Let me give you a little courtesy pause right now. I'll be right All right, I'm back, and now we're doing our last clarification with our third deck using the Goddess Guidance Oracle card by good old Doreen Virtue. Okay, let me get some more water so I can try to help all these hiccups. Goodness, they are out of control today. Okay. And like I say in my last videos, I try not to think of this as readings. I just like to have a conversation with you, okay? So this is mostly a conversation, so you can, you can take notes if you want, but you can go ahead and, clean up the kitchen, reorganize, do a little work while you're listening to this. That's really the mindset that I have while we're doing this, because that's the things that I do. I like I like to listen to videos that are helpful to my spirit and my purpose, and feed my spirit while I'm washing dishes or doing a little writing and organizing and things like that. So let let's go into this third layer of communication while we're working on this reading. So please clarify, from June 12th until June 18th, what is the main thing for Cancer rising? What does Cancer rising need to know about the last quarter moon in their 8th house? What does Cancer rising need to know about the new moon in their 12th house? What does Cancer rising need to know about Saturn going retrograde in their 8th house? And what is Cancer rising's overall advice for this week, June 12th until June 18th? All right, here we go. This is Mother Mary. Expect a miracle. I believe we saw this already in one of the other cards. Have faith that your prayers have been heard and are being answered. So let's look at this again. This is our theme. It started off with talking about Venus in the 4th house. Venus, not in the 4th house, but Venus in your 1st house. Okay, and that's creativity. That's a lot of divine feminine energy. And then we have protection. Protection because you might do things a little different. Protection because you might need to be a trailblazer. And then we have Mother Mary again, representing Cancer, representing your 4th house. Mother Mary, expect miracles. You can really Let me look at your chart again. Okay, so yeah, this really does have a lot to do with you just being free to be who you are, Cancer rising, because being free to follow your passions, even if they're different, oh my gosh, from what society says that they should be. This is about you doing you, and knowing that everything is going to be okay. You're going to be safe. You're going to be protected. You can be as unique as you want to be. You can be as authentic as you want to be. You can share all the emotions and feelings that you want, with, you want to be smart about it and do it with people that you trust. But this is your time to do that. This is your theme for this week. Oh, so much. Oh my gosh, so much moon energy. Now we're talking about the last quarter moon. Okay, and this is definitely talking about Aquarius, Mother Earth. You are called upon to help with environmentalism. What is keeping you from expressing yourself and helping other people? What is keeping you from expressing yourself? What is keeping you from reaching out to bigger, talk about the eighth house? The Aquarius represents network circles, so network circles that might be more spiritual, might be more research oriented, they might be more people looking for transformation, change, people looking to understand more of what's underneath the surface. But you might want to be free, let go of what's keeping you from connecting with a group of people that allow you to express yourself as who you really are. Okay? So we're going to the new moon. Lakshmi, future. Stop worrying. Everything's going to be fine. Okay? Cancer rising, you might have a lot of worry that you need to work out. But with this new moon in your 12th house, you have a spiritual team that you need to pay attention to, that you need to listen to, that you need to connect with. Okay? You need to trust what they tell you. You need to trust what you hear. You need to trust that what you communicate to them is heard. You're not alone. Okay? And you also need to know that everything is going to be okay. This also relates to me. Oh my gosh. Back to your eighth house where Aquarius is. Everything is going to be okay. Especially if you don't resist change, if you don't resist newness, everything is going to be okay. That's the new moon. That's what the new moon is saying. Okay, now let's move on to Saturn retrograde. Saturn going retrograde. What does that mean? This card for me always represents K2. So we have purification. It is time for a cleansing, detoxification of your body and mind. Okay, so we have here, this is the Saturn going retrograde, faded meanings. Okay, and I explained to you all the karmic things. We have the Holy Spirit expect miracles. When it's time for the last quarter moon, like I said, all this week, the moon is going to be in the last quarter moon phase until Saturday and Sunday for some people. So all this week, we need to be expecting miracles. We need to expect faded things. We need to expect a lot of karmic things and know that everything is going to be okay because everything is working out for our good. Okay. And this right here, it's talking about the K2 in. Let me look and see where K2 is in your chart. K2 is in Libra in your 4th house. That's the thing. You might have a lot of fated experience, especially with Jupiter and Rahu and Mars aspecting your 4th house. You might have a lot of changes and transformations happening in your 4th house, a lot of changes and transformations and fated experiences happening with your emotions and with your mother. Okay, but and this all has to be there, and you also might need to reflect on how you might have needed to be more responsible when it comes to your home and your emotions and your mother, how you might need to be more disciplined when it comes to those things, how you might need to be more patient, because Saturn is all about patience too, and dealing with things that are not very easy to deal with, but dealing with those things for a long period of time. And that has to do with your 1st house, your life, and your 4th house, your home. Okay, so let's look at your last thing, your advice. Green Tara, serenity, sensitivity. There's a lot. I feel like there's a lot going on in your home environment. Cancer rising. Okay, and you're just gonna need to ride the waves. So you are becoming an increasingly sensitive. Avoid harsh relationships, environments, and situations, and chemicals. This is your overall advice. Listen, Cancer rising. Listen to your intuition, listen to your wisdom, listen to your angels, listen to your ancestors, pay attention to your dreams. Listen to the spiritual communication that you get this week. Okay? And that's really going to help you. That is really going to help you. Okay, so that is the reading that I have for you right now for this week of June 12th until June 18th. If you have any questions, if you would like for me to do a specific reading just for you, then look in the description box and I will have links there for you, because this reading is just for people that have Cancer in their 1st house in general, but I can go even deeper and help you understand what this week means for you specifically. So look in the description box, contact me, we'll talk about it, we'll get it done. Okay, now look out for the next reading for Leo rising. All right, enjoy your day.